Middleweight bout here. Yuri Panferov coming in at plus 200 against Torrez Finney, sitting at minus 240. That is a big dude in Torrez Finney, but you look at his height, 5'7", and he's a short, stocky guy. Both men undefeated 6-0, 24 years of age for Torrez Finney, 27 for Yuri Panferov. And if you watch the tape on these guys, Torrez Finney, the frame is impressive, but, he looks so freaking thick. He's just able to take these guys down. And it's almost like a Habib style when you watch him wrestle, because he gets them down, tries to, extend their legs and kind of just bully them, basically use his weight on top, not let him build a base, just continue to punch him in the face. He has no submissions on his record. Most of these wins are coming by ground and pound. He's got a decision win. He's undefeated. He's training with Trevor Peak. He's out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So he's Trevor Peak's boy. 24 years of age, though, so he's probably getting better everywhere that he can within mixed martial arts. Yuri Panferov, the Russian polar bear. Watching his fights, wasn't super impressed. Like, there's a reason he's plus 200 in this spot. And I just watch his fights. I'm like, this guy is supposed to pull off a win in the UFC. Like, if he gets in the UFC, I just don't think he's going to do much. So if he comes through as an underdog here, I don't know if he'll have a great UFC career. He could pull through here and get a win. But he's got 5 submissions on his record, 1 TKO. The problem here is our boy Torrez Finney might be tough to submit. Doesn't have much of a neck. Those arms are going to be thick. They're going to be strong. So if he's looking to try to get a sub here, that might be a tough way to win this fight. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know if neither of these guys are necessarily UFC level. I think it's going to be a sloppy fight. I think it could be a fast fight, but it's just not like a bunch of raw talent on the feet in this fight at all. The wrestling for Torrez Finney is more of just like that overpowering. He's an athlete, though. He's jacked. He's apparently a good high school wrestler, All-American high school wrestler, good college football player. But yeah, just a ball of muscle with some athleticism in him. But, when the fights start round one, every single fight I could find, he'll throw these big shots or even just one shot and then try to back his opponent up. And from there, just blast a takedown, get your back, and just kind of, ground and pound until, the ref jumps in and stops the fight. And, just watching that, he's just overpowering everybody. And I don't really see in Yuri Panferov why Torrez won't do it to him as well. Like, yeah, Yuri Panferov has some good submissions and good grappling. And, when he gets on top, he's good and he has good pressure and transitions to the back and everything. But that's going to be hard to do, especially early against Torrez Finney. Also, like, this is the perfect example of a fight where if this goes past the first round, both of these guys are going to be hands on knees, I think, gasping and tired, because both guys are going to burn pretty hot. Both guys, or especially Finney, is explosive. So that's the part that makes it interesting. Like, I feel like Torrez Finney's a guy that if he doesn't find that first round submission, you look at the way he's built, you look at the way he fights, how long can he really keep that up? He does have one fight on his record where he went decision and won, but outside of that, he's getting a lot of round 1, round 2 finishes. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Panferov, good submission game, but other than that, I wouldn't be surprised if Finney just kind of puts him up against the cage and tees off on him and just kind of plays that game with him too here, because on the feet, Panferov hasn't looked that good. So I think it's a sloppy fight, though. I think Torrez Finney wins, but going forward, I'm not sure if either of these guys are real UFC caliber.
Yeah, both guys undefeated as an amateur too. So they've never lost amateur or pro. It really just comes down to, like, I just don't think either of these guys has a good UFC career. No. So I don't know if I could get behind minus 240 or minus 250 on Torrez Finney, because 5'7" middleweight, like, we've seen that with Deron Winn. Deron Winn was 5'6", and he got a couple wins in the UFC, but it's really reminds me of that. Like, thick dude, short guy, strong wrestler. I just don't see how they have great success in the UFC when you are able to put them up against a guy that can strike. But the problem here with the dog in Yuri Panferov, I haven't really been impressed with his striking ability. It really just comes down to a submission game. So I don't know. Maybe Torrez Finney finds a way to throw himself in a submission, or Panferov can cinch something up. But as I said earlier, the dude's thick. It's going to be tough to submit a guy that, has a good wrestling background too. So, I mean, he's probably going to have good top pressure. And, more times than not, a good top pressure wrestler is able to just stay safe against a jiu-jitsu guy. So Finney will be the pick for me. Don't love the price. Don't really think either of these guys is going to be anything great in the UFC. Just a greasy one. Maybe even look for an over, because I think Finney could probably just lay in guard for 3 rounds if that's, somewhat true. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Stay tuned for the bets when they're available.